Hey, what it do, man? It's your boy Ezzy Money, coming to you from Atlanta Custom Raps, man, the best and the biggest custom rap shop in Atlanta. I'm here with the man himself, Justin, the owner.
What's up, Atlanta? I'm Justin Norton. I own Atlanta Custom Raps. You may have seen me on Netflix, YouTube, or just out in the streets in the city. I'm born and raised in Atlanta. I come from a very humble background. I grew up in a trailer. And I ain't Eminem or nothing, but turned into a successful rapper and got out the trailer. But nah, I come from humble background. So my grandfather was a moonshiner, or a bootlegger, not a moonshiner. He was a bootlegger. So I come from generations of just we're gonna pull this shit out. We're gonna fuck with this motor and see if we can get it to go a little faster. And back then it wasn't about racing, drag racing. It was just about getting away from the police and get down the mountain fastest. I didn't realize what we were doing at the time, but I knew we were driving fucking fast through small country ass mountain roads and shit. and they would turn the lights off and run literally no lights through the mountain.
Yeah, that's old school.
And ironically, I do it once a week.
Yeah.
So once a week, I go to the same mountain. My family cemetery's at the bottom of the mountain, and I run that shit.
You don't drift it, dude.
I do.
I knew it. You didn't just cruise.
No, fuck no. I remember you talking about loving drag racing, and honestly, I think what it really boils down to is we're addicted to the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's the speed for me as much as it is just the adrenaline. So I love fighting, I love racing, I love anything that gives me that. There's no drug on earth that can duplicate the feeling of adrenaline. Like that moment of being on the edge of, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, I might die, oh shit, I made it, that's cool, now I'll do it, you know what I'm saying? And, I road raced motorcycles for a while when I was young, and our heartbeat would be so fucking high for so long that my heart developed an extra valve to keep up. So at 25, they had to go through my leg and snip this valve, and I've actually got to go do it again at the end of the summer. I'm scheduled to have another heart surgery, but
real gear.
But I love that shit. like I really, really love that shit.
You think there could be a service provided for people because I'm serious, because like now there are people like you, myself, that can afford that, but there's a lot of people that drag racing is breaking up a happy home. So
if racing is breaking up a happy home, if it wasn't racing, it would be a different drug. It's an addiction, right? That's who we are as people. So I said it on the Netflix show. If I were a dog, I'd be a fucking pit bull. Like, I might not be the biggest and I might not be the strongest, but like that determination of I'm not gonna fucking quit and I'm gonna go till my heart explodes or I can't fucking move anymore. That's who racers are.
Yeah, there's probably 10 people in my DM trying to sell me the car that they just can't finish.
Yeah, I've made quite a bit of money on it several different times, right? And as sad as it is, like, it's just reality for those particular people. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with them or that they're less people. Fuck, I've been in that situation myself, literally, where I've had to sell off shit for damn near nothing. Just like anything else, man, racing is like a drug that you have to monitor in moderation. Like, so yeah, man, I'm 8th grade education. I dropped out in 9th grade. I really only went to high school to see what new bitches were in that. I ain't gonna lie. But you know, I just wanted to work on cars, so I got a job at a performance shop and just studied that shit more than anything, man. Like I would be watching these guys build these race cars and pick up on something here and there, and when you can afford it, the best thing you can do is watch the people that can afford it and obtain as much knowledge as you can, so that when you get to that point, you know what those results are. And I can look back at notebooks. Like I used to go to the fucking grocery store or whatever. I'd get a notebook and I would write down, like, I would watch these builds that would come through the shop I was working at, and I would write down the specs on all the motors, the fucking tunes. Like, I still to this day I probably got a stack of books like that are just different people's builds, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, like all this different shit. What times they run, what weights the cars came in, like,
damn,
specs on the motors, the heads,
real
like
stats.
flow. You know, even when we did the show on Netflix together, like, I knew you were gonna fucking leave hard. I knew that shit was gonna leave hard. And so, knowing that and not panicking, like, you know what I'm saying? When we leave, that's right. When we leave and y'all got out a little bit, you know, watching y'all jump out on me and just knowing it's all good. Those are 8th mile cars. This shit's gonna fall off and I'm gonna ride around. Like,
And I started spamming.
I already know. But you know, being able to, I think that's what separated me from the other supercar owners. Obviously, I don't think I fit the bill. But yeah, man, it's, you know, I love the McLaren. The McLaren's cool. All these cars serve a different purpose for my shop. So as a car guy, like, I love them all. I appreciate them all. I don't care if it's a Grand Nat or a Cutlass or a GTR or a Vette or a McLaren. Like I'm that same dude that I've been since I was 16. Like,
purpose, right?
I fucking love and respect them all, but they were all designed for different things. You know what I'm saying? So when people look at me or look at the shop and the cars I got, I think some people just look at it as flashy or maybe even misinterpret it as cocky or arrogant, like, oh, this rich motherfucker got all these cars. But in actuality, like, no, I've got a GTR to appeal to that particular crowd, car enthusiasts, and I have a Vette that appeals to American muscle car enthusiasts, and I've got an old school, and I've got, you see what I'm saying? So we go to Caffeine and Octane, I got a car here, 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 and I got a car here, and I didn't pay nothing for a booth. Like, all I did was bring my cars out, but no matter what section you're in, there's gonna be an ACW car that stands out, and at the end of the show, you can be like, damn, ACW brought out some fucking cars, right? It's never just one, right? Like if it were just the supercars, I'd be broke and out of business. We don't do. People think all we do is high-end cars, but in reality, man, like, I do way more common cars than I do exotic shit. It's just those are, you know, they jump out. So we have to appeal to every single fucking group of car enthusiasts. Looking back, man, I don't even know how the fuck I made it, to be honest with you. So I was married before, racing bikes and shit, and being young and traveling and having a little bit of money from racing and shit. Obviously, my first marriage didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, nothing against her. It was just wrong time and shit. I feel like God put us together so we would have the wonderful son that I have now, and she's the best mother. She's great. That's all good. when Danielle and I got together, like, we ain't have shit. When I got divorced, I just, fuck it. You get to keep the house, the boat, the cars on. None of it. So I left with nothing but a Mustang. And a month after my divorce and only having this Mustang, renting this shitty ass house, I let my mom take the car and my son. The car gets stolen. I had liability insurance on it. So I literally had fucking nothing. And then I had to have heart surgery. So I had nothing. I went through heart surgery. And when I recovered from that shit, we actually got evicted from the house that I was in. I rented a house with some buddies. And Danielle and I went and rented a 1-bedroom apartment because that's all we could afford at the time. And her parents had given her a Toyota Camry, you know, when she was a kid. So we fucking literally lived in a 1-bedroom apartment and shared a Toyota Camry. So being a racer and imagine like you've traveled the country, you've raced motorcycles on a professional level, and then you went from like a $500,000 house in a big neighborhood and all the cars to driving your girlfriend's fucking Camry every now and then. It sucked, man.
You get right though.
Right, so it makes you figure some shit out. You know what I'm saying? And that was a deciding factor in life. Like I gotta make some shit happen. And I probably at the time, like, I had this little C5 Corvette, and I probably had like $2 grand total to my name. And I went and found this shop that had been open empty for a while. And it was just a shitty building. It had like patches on the walls and shit, no AC, no heat, just a roll-up door, one fucking office, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even have a phone line in there or nothing. And for the first 6 months, I don't even think I had a desk in there, like, you know what I'm saying? And, but I told the wife, like, I gotta try this, right? Like, I gotta try it. And I did a car for Future, and he loved it so much, he just kept them coming, right? So I got this little shitty ass shop and gambled everything on it, man. Like, I remember our first material order, when I wrote the check, I didn't have the money in the account to cover the check that I just wrote, but I knew I wrote the check on a Friday, so if I could just work my ass off, I wrote it Friday morning, so I knew, like, if I just fucking wrap this shit out of this car, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, by the time they deposit the check on Monday, I'll already have cash from Future. I'll put it in the bank, the shit'll clear, and that shit turned into this. Like,
from that.
I can't make this shit the fuck up. Like,
how did you get with Future?
So a buddy, street racing shit, really. Like, in all honesty, I'd been, you know, I go down and do a bunch of street racing shit when I was young. My boy Pee Wee owned the car wash right across from the Dome, the 57 that you had in the shop and they filmed Netflix.
Yeah. Before P got it, yeah.
Right.
I tried to buy it too, yeah.
Right. So Pee Wee hit me up one day and was like, yo, man, you know, Future down here with some free bands guys, and they talking about wanting to change up some shit on their ride and want to go faster and do this and that, and you should ride down and holler at them. And so I rode down to the car wash, man, and kicked it for a minute, and he was like, you know, I want to do this and this to this Trans Am. So that was the Bandit, you know, but then it wasn't the Bandit. It was a Thunder Valley Customs, and they had it for a couple years and never finished it and shit. So it really started with like, finish this Trans Am for me, and
We'll go from there.
and then when I got the car running, it needed graphics on the fucking, it needed the bird on the hood and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, man, you know anybody who could do it? And I'm like, fuck, it's just a sticker, right? Like, I'll figure this shit out. So I put that sticker on, and then it was like, damn, that was easy, and I like that shit, you know what I'm saying? And then it was, well, I want all my shit matte black, and fuck it, I'll try it. And so I tried to wrap in the garage, and that shit worked, and then that's what, then it went into the shop. So that's how I got the $2 grand to gamble, and open the shop. And I got them to do that shop month to month. So it was like,
if I ain't got it this month,
that's
I
right.
might be out of
At
here.
that time, man, I was like, I even told the wife, I'm like, man, shit, I don't know if we're gonna make it a month, 2 months,
Right.
3 months. I don't fucking know, but I'm gonna try this shit. And honestly, I didn't know how much I was gonna love it. Like, but I just really, I'm OCD and shit, but like, there's something about wrapping a car and you can complete it in a pretty short amount of time. And like, if you understand taking the car apart and putting it back together, I don't know, it just all worked for me. I looked at the industry, right, and there was rappers doing cars, but they had come from the graphic side of the industry. So there were sticker guys that were doing like company fleet vehicles and advertisement shit. That didn't understand cars, but they understood like graphics. You know what I'm saying? And so when I looked at that, I was like, I'm just the fucking opposite. I don't know shit about the graphic. I understand the car, and I can look at the body lines of the car, and I can look at what needs to come apart to tuck it here and make it look like it was factory paint that way. And so I think it gave me an advantage, right? And then I had a few years there where I really didn't have any competition in my eyes. I still don't. In my head, we don't have competition. I know those shops are out there, but I think we just play on a different level. But that gave me that ability, like, it's kind of like a race. Like, once you're out so far, like, you can't fucking catch me, you know what I'm saying? When all that went on, and we got the Trans Am done, and we got the first shop and whatnot, you know, I was putting money away. So we were getting that money, but I knew, like, again, you gotta pace yourself. So this is a race, it's not a sprint, and so I put the money back, and I went a while with like, I didn't have any cool cars and shit, really. And the Vette that I had, I wrecked, and it was my fault, and again, had liability insurance. So it was just wadded up fucking parts. But this shit was coming out, and I was making some money, so I was stacking that shit up and waited for the 15 and built some, I pre-aligned some partnerships. So like Corsa Performance and Nitrous Express, and I reached out to these companies and I was like, look, you know, I promise you, I know this is a brand new car, I know there are gonna be people, you know, hitting you up, but I'll tear my shit apart the day I fucking get it. I don't care. It's a brand new car, let's tear it apart, let's build some shit for it. I want to be the first. I want to be the first to fucking wrap it. I want to be the first with a Corsa, the first idiot to fucking spray nitrous on it. I don't care if it comes apart, like all that shit. And that's exactly what we did. And that took us on a national level. That was our first year at SEMA. It was the first. This car was the first one with a Corsa. It was the first one with nitrous. It was the first one with a Pro Charger. They literally built the fucking kits off of this car. Like, you could buy a Corsa exhaust for a C7 right now and it's fucking molded off of that car behind me. It was the first one ever wrapped. I remember taking it apart and I called my buddy at the Chevy dealership and I'm like, yo, do you know how to get this shit off? And he was like, no, you fucking idiot. No one's done it. Don't fuck with it. And I'm over here with a pick and shit like, no. Let's go get it.
Try to
hear all these clips coming off and it's like crack, crack, plop. And it's like, man, I'm breaking this shit out of this. But that's how it was supposed to come off. And
He was determined. He didn't care.
And I made it work. Looking back, I don't even know how I made the first shot work because in the summer there'd be days where it was 120 degrees in the fucking shop and sweat pouring off my face and shit, and like in the winter it'd be so fucking cold we'd be sitting there with propane heaters freezing our ass off. So I don't know how I just got lucky. And then in our second shot, I had been doing these cars for this person, right? Like they had hit me and said they were the manager for an entertainment, but never would tell me who it was. They were very adamant about that. It was, we ain't gonna tell you who it is. you can do these fucking cars and do them right, and there'll be more of them, right? So obviously I did, and this went on for about a year and a half. As I'm pulling into the shop, I see this Range Rover come by me, right? And it rides by real slow, and the dude rolls the window down, and he looks at me. He's like, yo, I'm gonna go get some fucking Chinese food. You want something? I'll be right back. And I'm looking at him, no, I don't want no fucking food, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing, right? So it took a minute, and and I sat in the shop just staring at the fucking wall, like, was that who I thought it was? And why in the fuck is he talking to me like he know me? And he come back, and it was Katt Williams, and the motherfucker gets out the Range Rover, and he walks in the back of the shop, and he sits down, eats some Chinese food with me, and it's just me and Katt, like, no fucking body else in the building. And I bet we sat there for 5 hours smoking L's, talking shit. Just smoking one right after another, talking shit, and come to find out all those cars and that manager was Katt Williams' manager, and I had been doing work for the man. I didn't fucking know it. You know what I'm saying? And that was probably the biggest turning point in my life. Because even though I was doing good and I had Overkill and we were in our second shop and whatnot, it was still a struggle like anything else. And but Katt and I become very close. Like there for a handful of years, like him and I were really, really, really close. So Katt hit me and was like, "Yo, you want to fly to Philly with me? We're gonna go get the Lambo and go house shopping." I'm like, "Man, you fucking crazy," you know? So I thought he was bullshit, and I didn't show up to the airport. And he sent me the fucking picture and was like, "You fucked up. You should have been here. Blah blah blah." And I didn't think nothing else about it. You know what I'm saying? But 2 days later, he calls me and he pulls up in the Lambo. I'm like, "Man, what the, this motherfucker, he for real." Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm gonna get to wrap this fucking car. You know what I'm saying?
And drive it.
And I'm probably gonna get to drive it. So anyways, Katt and I sit there and kick it for a minute, and he's like, he knew me very well and shit, and knew my background and where I came from, and Danielle, and he said, how would your life change if this car was yours? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, shit, if I had a Lambo, man, I'd be on top of the goddamn world.
Right.
They could never fucking stop me if I had something like this to get out and get the attention. And at that time, we were out eating somewhere, and he had a girl with him. And so he throws me the keys to the car, and he says, "The title's in the glove box, and the car belongs to ACW."
Wow.
6 months after that, man, like, the wife and I'd be looking at each other. We'd be laying in bed and just look at each other and be like, "Is there really a fucking Lamborghini in our garage? Lamborghini in our garage?" You know what I'm saying? That shit can't be real. And so even when he gave it to me, I was like, "Katt, I love the fuck out you, man, but I can't even afford insurance on this motherfucker. Like, I can't afford the tag and the insurance and shit. This is a brand new fucking Lamborghini." So he was like, "Cool, I understand. I'll help you." And he paid the tag and the fucking insurance for a year. So he turned to me and was like, "This, I get it. No one's ever helped you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you, and here's your fucking shot. Like, take it, sell it, blow the fucking money, do whatever you're gonna do, but I'm gonna give you this one fucking shot, and I will never ask anyone for anything or never need anything from anyone ever fucking again." I took that one shot and fucking turned it into a fleet. And I I still can't believe it to this day. That motherfucker will forever hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
probably maybe you get rid of that
He
one.
could call me. I ended up selling the car
you did?
last year, but I drove that car every day for 2 years, 2.5 years, and I put 45,000 miles on it.
So you drove the fuck out.
I drove the fuck out that car.
Yeah, for
When
real.
my son was 11, we got a call from Lil Uzi Vert, and they were doing the Money Longer video, and they had rented out Paradise Drag Strip, and they needed some cars to come up, right? Anyway, we had the track rented, so I had made a couple passes, and my son looks over at me, he's like, "Dad, can I drive it up to the starting line?"
Can I do
And
burnout?
I was like, and it being an all-wheel drive car and shit, and I was like, him and Uzi had been riding dirt bikes around and kind of really getting along, so I said, fuck it, let him pull it up to the starting line. He pulls it up to the starting line, and Uzi looks over at me, he's like, you gonna let him drive that shit? And I was like, you know what, fuck it, yeah, we are. So I get in a car with him, and me and him make a pass, man, and my son went 105. It was like, I think he went 7-8 or some shit. He went through the traps at 105. When that shit happened, man, we left the track, and I didn't even have all that much of a social media following. My phone was about to die, and my son was like, "Dad, will you post that video on your page?" I think I probably only had like 1,000 followers or some shit at the time, but my phone died 5 minutes after I posted that shit. I got home and I plugged the fucking phone in and turned it back on. It was at like 100,000 fucking views. And then by the time we went to bed, that shit was at 500,000 views. I woke up the next morning like 1 million.
It kept going up.
And the fucking followers kept going up and the views kept going up and people were calling and the shit was getting shared everywhere. All of that shit, looking back, it's like, it took dedication and it took drive and it took that will to win to build the shop and for everything to happen, but it also took so many small decisions and things. I could have told Katt's manager no that Sunday, and him and I would have never got to sit down, just the two of us, and talk about life like you and I are. You know what I'm saying? But that one, yeah, I'll be there today,
Turned into a hurricane.
changed my fucking life.
Right.
Yeah, I'll let him pull it up, and then yeah, fuck it, I'll let him make a pass. Like little steps like that along the way, and having you come out and shoot the Vette and the Bandit, like that shit went viral as fuck. Man, all those
Just
little
being
decisions of just being me and like being true to being me.
That's what I was just about to say.
I don't give a fuck. I've got $1 million fleet of cars now, but that shit does not make me any fucking different than the dude I was in the apartment sharing a candy. Like, it certainly takes a team. Like, I couldn't have done it without my guys. I love and appreciate every one of them motherfuckers and all the work they put in, and the wife and all that she does and the support. It couldn't have been done without the support. And all those people, backing me up. Then Netflix calls like, yo, you want to do this show? And we start going through all these casting calls, and you already know, you know how that shit goes. So that was months and months, right? And even then I thought like, I don't know, this is cool, but like I don't really fucking care too much, and maybe it's not gonna be worth it. Maybe I don't want to do it. I don't know. And then at the end, like when it was all said and done, to sit here and have this shit, like, and I know it's just a trophy, and to most people it's just a cool looking trophy. And fuck, I just ashed in it, to be honest with you.
I saw it.
But I'm saying,
It's for real.
but at the end of the day, no piece of metal will ever. It's more about what it means, right, than what it looks like. So
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is,
It's probably
coming from our background, right? Like from racing, I know you've all about racing. I've been racing my whole fucking life. either to make a living or to support my habit or addiction. But you're never the fastest car.
Oh, hell no.
So like, there's always somebody faster, and there's always a car that can beat you and all this shit, right? So to hold that, or to have a title of the fastest car just seemed to be unrealistic, right?
Picking up some good
And
titles.
I know, right?
Worldwide.
That's
Picking up
right.
some good titles.
Some
For
shit
real.
was rolling there, man. And it's like, now I'm sitting back looking at the shit, and it's like, we'll go out in public, and I didn't realize how many people watch the fucking show.
Man.
But God, and I know you've experienced it
When
too.
I was just at SEMA, you'd be surprised.
Like every 5 feet, I was signing some autograph or taking a picture with folks, and even now, no matter what, like we go out and somebody's like, "That's the fastest car, dude," and it's like,
especially driving the car every day.
we spend our whole goddamn lives trying to be known as the fastest on the street, and now like, not only am I known as the #1 fucking rapper in the world, I'm also known as that fastest car dude. So to have those two titles and to be recognized and called from
Both
that
of the
shit.
things that you were trying to,
That's right.
man. Your
It's
two
like,
main goals.
man, that's like everything. You know what I'm saying?
It's downhill from there. So in conclusion, man, as y'all can see, stay down in life, you'll come up, just be you. You don't have to try to be like nobody else, man. If you're not balling right now, you're not where you want to be right now, just stay down. Your time gonna come. It's a time and a chance for everybody. You just gotta take it when it comes.
That's right.
Straight like that.
Capitalize on your opportunities.
Yeah, you heard it from the horse's mouth. So now we're about to get into these cars, get into this shop, man. Show y'all what he do every day, what he drive every day, and what's the life of Atlanta Custom Raps. Voila. While the magic happens. We got, ramps. All type of shit.
Hours on average?
What is the hardest car to rap?
Look like that.
I'd say, man, I'd have to say the McLaren 720S. Like, that car's a fucking nightmare. Every fucking panel rolls and curves and turns, and like, it's a bitch to take apart. It's a bitch to wrap. This one was used. This particular one was used on Transformers, but it's a full suspension, full-blown rally truck. It's LS motor with a supercharger. It's making like 725 at the wheel. I get it out like when it's snowing shit. I'll get it out and jump it. Like
I will go ride at this.
I probably.